Thoughts on the game and how you guys played?
Well, I thought we played pretty well. I don't think we guarded them very well the second half because we fouled them every possession. But that's not the way that I don't think Jerome or myself would want the second half to go, because I think both teams were in the bonus with like 12 left or 13 left, and so you got to be defensive on defense, and that's when you usually foul the most. But I actually thought we did some good things early. We shot it well early, and of course had some rhythm, and we didn't shoot it near as well the second half, and probably didn't execute as well the second half. But we did some good things. Their guys are hard to guard now. Noel and Johnson are hard to guard, and Tomlin, when he gets going downhill, he's long strides, he's hard to stay in front. They've got a good team, and I actually thought we did a good job for the most part, and our bench was terrific. Best our bench has been all year.
Yeah, Jerome said that Jalen didn't get 38, Grady didn't get 20, the other guys beat us tonight. How much can you move that forward and keep that going, and what's the key to that maybe?
Well, I think, unfortunately, because of injuries, it's been squeezed down, so everybody's going to know, those 9 are going to know they're going to get a chance to get in the game more than likely, although Zach didn't at Kentucky. But, when you look at our big guy, I can't remember exactly, what did we get, like 16 and 12 or whatever from that position in 40 minutes. That's pretty good for us, but it wasn't KJ, because KJ was in foul trouble. So, Ernest and Zach did good work, and I thought Bobby and Joe gave us some good minutes, and MJ said he couldn't go, so because of his back. So that was, we were limited there, and of course when Bobby tweaks his ham, and I think KJ dislocated or broke his finger. I don't know if that's what happened, but that's what I thought at the time. I mean, we were just limping home, and fortunately we got to the finish line.
With Jalen, I think the stat is the most points by a Kansas player in a 5-game stretch in the Big 12 era. I mean, what can you say?
Yeah,
about
I've heard different things. Anybody know what that number is?
It was 133. I think.
133.
113 after 4.
Yeah, sure. 113 after. So yeah, 133 is a pretty good number for a 5-game stretch, and unfortunately we go 2 and 3 in that 5 games, and he's usually scored the most points when we've labored the most offensively, which is a sign of a good player. So tonight we were able to spread the wealth a little bit, but still he was the main guy that got us off to a good start.
What's your assessment of how Bobby Pettiford has stepped up as DeJuan's backup, especially in these recent games, barring the injuries?
Yeah, I think our bench has done better as a whole, but Bobby's done well. I just hope his hammy's not bad, because that's a tough one to play with. But he was explosive today. He didn't shoot it from the perimeter, but he got to the cup, and he's a good defender. And it may not seem like much, but with the foul trouble we played through with Grady and Kevin and KJ, if our bench wasn't good, we don't win tonight. And so that was a good thing to see.
And has the game plan been more recently for DeJuan to attack the basket more? Because it seems that he's been getting in the room more often.
Yeah, no question. He's got to look to score. Then we talk about that each and every day. He and KJ both need to look to score.
Bill, they really tried to cheat off some guys and dare him to shoot. How important is it, kind of psyche-wise, to get those guys going out there, willing to get it up there, and tonight, like you said, all those other guys. How important is it just going forward to just make it not feel like it has to be Jalen?
Oh yeah. Well, we're going to be decent offensively, or pretty good offensively, if they have to guard 5 guys. I mean, let's just call it like it is. And even if one misses, it's like throwing deep. There's the threat that he's going to shoot it, and Juan made the first one, and then he misses his next 4, if I'm not mistaken, and then makes the last one. So, but I think Juan's a good. He doesn't practice every day. We'll do shooting drills. He'll make more than Grady and Jay will in shooting drills. So that's not unusual to see at all. So he just needs to translate that to the game, and Kevin, hadn't been able to throw it in the ocean here of late. He goes 2 of 3, even though he missed everything in the arc, inside the arc. But he played well and rebounding the basketball. He's got to be as good a guard rebounder as there is in the country.
Coach, we talked a few weeks ago out here about the schedule that you guys are playing, what a gauntlet it is. What's it going to take to come out on top of this league with what you've seen so far about halfway through?
Well, from a one-loss record, I have no idea. 5 looks like a pretty good number, maybe 6. But I don't know. I can't see anybody run the table the last 9 games. I can't see that. But I've been wrong before. But, for us to have a chance, we're going to have to go steal a couple and then hold serve at home. But it's different though, because even holding serve at home has become more difficult than what it ever has in years past. So to me, it's a little bit early. 5-0, we're in great shape. 5-3, now we're looking up, and 6-3. If you'd have told me as many close games as we played, that's probably about where we deserve to be honest with you. 7-2 would be fantastic, but we got to go play well at Ames and play well at home Monday. But I don't know what the number is, but I think 5 would be really looking good right now.
Non-basketball question, Travis Kelce was in the house, big ovation, you went to the locker room, what sort of interactions did he have with the team? And,
Yeah, he talked to everybody. Of course, the thing about, I've been around him a little bit, and I'm not going to say we're boys or anything like that, but I've been around him a little bit. The thing that amazes me, he's on top of his craft in a way that very few are in the world, and he's great to everybody. He treats everybody the same, and he was so excited, and I'm not talking about from a KU fan perspective, just so excited to be part of energy, and I can't imagine every defensive player loving him as a teammate. He's fun, and I'm sure that if things go well in a couple of weeks, he'll be a ton of fun for the next month or so after that.
He fancies himself a good basketball player. Did he try to tell you that?
No, he didn't tell me anything. He had a dude with him. I can't remember his name, that played for the Chiefs just for a little while, but said that he was a really good player back in the day. Said he came to KU camp, back in the early 2000s, 2005, 2006, something like that. So I didn't remember him, but Travis says that he's, he switched to the man sport and then, became the best football player. At least that's what he said.
Bill, sorry to go back to basketball here, but they had David Dusan in the starting lineup today. You did not play him first time around. Did you notice any difference going up against
I think they're better with him. That's not a disrespect to anybody else, because what he can do, he can get out a ball screen and run to the rim, and it puts pressure on people running to the rim. And Noel's so good off a ball screen, as we all know. I think it's a dimension that makes their team better.
Coach, not for or against, good or bad, but are too many whistles bad for the game? Is that a problem right now?
We've played games so far where neither team got to the bonus the first half. And we played this tonight both teams are in the double bonus with 10 left in each half or whatever, close to it. So a little frustrating, I think, to probably players and coaches. But we've got to also learn how to adjust a little bit too. They're getting their marching orders, and I'm sure they are. I haven't talked to anybody about it, but I'm sure they're getting their marching orders to call it tighter. That every time you listen to analysts talk about the rock fight in the Big 12, every game's a rock fight. This kind of stuff. You hear about our game at Rupp the other night, talking about how physical we are, and you guys have seen us play. We're not even physical at all, but people have that perception, so that may play into it a little bit as well.
Bill, how much was the last game discussed? Was pride a factor tonight? They stormed the court and everything in Manhattan.
You know what? I think pride's a factor whenever you play an in-state school. I'll be honest with you. We talked about beating K-State, but we didn't talk about beating K-State because of that. We talked about beating K-State in large part because they beat us the first time, and even though they won the game, deservedly so, we didn't do many things to enhance our chances of winning the game in the last few possessions of regulation and overtime. So we felt like that it was one that could have gone the other way, and our guys certainly were ready to play tonight.
You addressed the 5 losses, maybe winning the league. Was tonight a must-win to stay with K-State?
The
way the standings
Yeah,
are.
I don't quite look at it like stay with K-State. I look at it, stay with everybody in that upper. There's 6 teams in our league that can win our league. And maybe there's more, but there's 6 teams that have a legitimate shot at winning our league. So I didn't look at it as staying with K-State, but if K-State gets this one today after they won at Baylor and after they've won at Texas, you would say that they've gone to 3 of the 4 or 5 hardest places and come away with the W. So and they've already played at Iowa State. So I mean, their schedule tips to their favor when you talk about now. Those teams still got to go to their place, but in those regards, their schedule kind of tips their favor because they've got a few of the toughest road venues out of the way.
Do you have an update on Kevin's hand and Bobby?
I do not. Bobby tweaked his hamstring, but he came back, so that's good. And Kevin, hurt his finger, which has been bothering him for a while, and he came back, so that's good. But I don't have any idea past that.
Anything else?
Okay, guys.